been a while since I've done a new review of a Looney Tunes game, but I'm happy to say they are back in the spotlight, back on camera, and back in...
Quiet, everybody. We're rolling. Quiet!
Action!
That's right, the Looney Tunes are back. Only this time it's a movie game. Looney Tunes back in action.
Not bad.
And to help me out with this review, I'm enlisting the help of fellow YouTuber Richie Jim.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thanks for having me. Personally, I feel this movie is very overlooked. I reviewed it a while ago on my channel, and as I say in my video, this movie is most often compared to the far more popular Space Jam, as would be expected. But this is more of a true Looney Tunes movie by comparison. There's less of a focus on the live-action characters as the cartoon characters take center stage. I also like how they're depicted as living alongside us rather than in a separate world as depicted in Space Jam. Now, it's not perfect, sometimes it feels a mess thematically, and they jump locations a few times, making the plot feel kinda disjointed.
Like this.
But unlike Space Jam, I think it captures the spirit of the Looney Tunes with an array of background gags and subtle details that really make this live-action animation hybrid worth watching.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
I also appreciate that they added some depth to the characters too. Daffy's struggle with Bugs' inexplicable popularity is a surprisingly mature and oddly touching thing to see, considering the hilarious slapstick antics the Looney Tunes are mostly known for.
Duck faith on fire!
I wouldn't say there's a firm hatred for the movie, but more of an indifference towards it, and I really don't think it gets the praise that it deserves.
You know what? I fully agree with this. It's actually pretty upsetting that director Joe Dante hates this movie for what happened behind the scenes, being as it was apparently so far removed from what he initially envisioned.
Oh, agony!
But in all honesty, I think the movie we got is nonetheless a smartly written, witty, and thoroughly entertaining outing for the Looney Tunes. And for a long time, I deemed it their swan song.
Right, boys?
The movie sees our heroes in pursuance of the Blue Monkey Diamond,
Blue monkey?
before the chairman of the Acme Corporation can use it to turn the world's population into monkeys. It was sadly a disappointment at the box office, meaning that for a while it seemed as though we'd witnessed the final iris out.
But as usual, we're not here to talk about the movie itself, but its tie-in video game. So enough monkeying around. Is this game a diamond in itself, or is it just downright despicable?
Greedy guts. Hey, a nickel!
Now, first of all, this game is interesting in that the live-action aspect is completely removed,
Get back here! Another one bites the dust.
which I think is probably all for the better. Why would kids play a Looney Tunes game and want to play as Brendan Fraser, really? This is a purely Looney Tunes game, and although it's clearly inspired by the movie with its general plot and locations, it works as a standalone game in its own right.
The game opens with Daffy pitching his idea for a new movie to Warner Brothers, in which he stars as his alter ego, Duck Danger.
Watch as I transform you into my simian slaves with this, the magical Blue Monkey Diamond.
Not if I have anything to say about it, evildoer!
Fun fact, this Batman parody was in fact the original opening of the movie, and it's interesting to note that the Duck Danger costume appears repeatedly throughout the game as a power-up.
This looks like the perfect time for a new breed of hero.
My viewers will know that I always find it interesting when certain things in movie games are actually cut from the movie prior to release, like that weird little pink thing you have to protect in a Treasure Planet game.
Hey, Ethan, watch out for that bird. Oh. He wasn't in the movie, he never existed, he can't prove anything.
Anyway, Daffy's idea is obviously rejected, but it turns out that the diamond he obtained for his pitch is in fact the real Blue Monkey Diamond, and the Warner brother reveals himself to be the evil chairman of Acme Industries.
I can turn everyone into monkeys and conquer the world, starting with the two of you!
A Hollywood executive who's secretly evil? Should we be surprised?
A monkey then takes off with the diamond, and the rest of the game basically sees you traverse 5 expansive locations, completing tasks to obtain monkeys, in the hope that at some point you'll retrieve the monkey with the diamond.
Yes, we're collecting monkeys again. Better gather them all up before the slave-driving penguins get their greedy flippers on them.
That ought to hold us for a little while.
It's implied that the reason for collecting all the monkeys is due to the fact that they're actually people transformed into monkeys by the diamond, although this really makes no sense as the diamond hasn't actually been used yet.
What with the magic diamond and all, you never know who they could be.
This is true, but hey, at least there's a logic to collecting the monkeys here, and we're not just holding them prisoner against their will like in Madagascar 2.
It's actually kind of interesting too that this isn't even the first Looney Tunes game in which you have to collect monkeys. Guys, if you're gonna copy Ape Escape, at least choose a different animal, come on!
As Daffy, the first task is to reach the Warner Brothers studios by crossing the road avoiding traffic. Once again, I'm getting Madagascar vibes. In order to capture a runaway monkey, you need to hit it 3 times.
Quit monkeying around so I can grab you.
Naturally, Daffy captures the wrong monkey and winds up a wanted duck for trespassing.
Well, guess I better go bail him out.
As Bugs, you can burrow underground by jumping and pressing R1.
Make with a burrowing, Buster.
This enables you to unearth hidden money and objects. You can only do this over certain soft ground, like grass verges and soil.
Start digging, big ears.
If you try this move anywhere else, you do a kind of ground slam move that's used to activate certain switches. You can tell when there's buried treasure underfoot as the controller will vibrate, while sparkles appear around Bugs' feet.
I love getting close to money. I get a nice foot massage.
This might sound strange to some of you, but I personally saw this as a reference to the cartoon 14 Karat Rabbit, in which Bugs Bunny is revealed to have a funny feeling come over him when in the vicinity of buried gold. It's not one of the more well-known Bugs Bunny cartoons, which makes its reference somewhat surprising.
Hey, another 5 cents.
Indeed, it looks as though the game developers did a fair amount of digging themselves.
The money you collect is used to afford a taxi fare to unlock new locations.
Money.
After a few missions in the current level have been completed, you're able to progress to the next location as long as you have enough money. Although I'm pretty sure there are far more practical ways of getting from Paris to Las Vegas than by taxi.
Las Vegas, and don't spare the horses.
And that's even with the help of Bugs' funny feeling.
I've a funny feeling we're gonna need a lot of money.
So many outfits, so little time.
Throughout the game, Bugs can enter closet doors and change into different costumes. Each location has a different costume with different abilities.
Hello, sailor.
In this case, Bugs changes into a hula outfit to distract Porky, the security guard.
Ugh, I can't believe they're falling for that.
Hey, it works on hyenas.
Wow!
Once back inside the studio grounds, we need to remove all the Daffy Duck wanted posters dotted around the place.
Wanted for what? Dinner?
As you can see, the gameplay is pretty standard, though nothing horrendous by any means.
Those guys see us. We are on the fast train to Nowheresville.
Both characters can perform a roll move, and they can also do a wall jump. As I say, the moves are pretty standard, but they do the job. I actually like the look of this game more than the game itself. The tasks are rather mundane and repetitive, but the smooth animations and constant entertaining back and forth between Bugs and Daffy make up for this.
Here comes the B-team. Well, it's about time, Buster.
What would otherwise be a very generic game actually has some character to it.
You know, there ain't no shame in acknowledging your limitations.
It's surprisingly witty, and in being so, it captures the tone of the movie rather well.
Even though it looks nothing like the movie at all?
Yeah.
Right.
Amusingly, the main enemies in the game are your obsessed fans.
Well, golly, the movie stars sure are short.
If they see you, they'll run up to you and try to take a picture.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad.
I don't know, man. I've seen the movie Misery.
Hey, I'm your biggest fan.
Stay away from me, you freak, or I'll kick you in the cock-a-doodie.
There are also enemies that will apprehend you, and you need to rapidly tap the circle button to either wrestle with them or wriggle free.
Booyah! You busted, freak.
I'm innocent, I tells ya. Innocent!
Now and again, you'll also find Granny, who's looking for Sylvester and Tweety.
They're never away this long.
The idea is to find and save Tweety from Sylvester a total of 3 times in a level.
I'm not feeling quite myself.
Find and smash Granny's pussy, and she'll give you a monkey.
Do you want to rephrase that?
No.
Throughout the game, you also collect Michigan J. Frog statues, and finding all 20 in a location rewards you with...
Let me guess. A monkey?
Nothing gets past you.
Often the statues aren't in plain sight, but you can hear a constant croaking sound whenever you're in the vicinity of one.
Whee!
This is a nice touch on the one hand, and a pain in the arse on the other.
Really, hearing this constant faint croaking gets on your nerves. You might say it's driving me hopping mad.
Ha! Good one. Let me guess. Are you losing your Michigan rag?
Stay away from the puns, buddy. That's my turf.
Sorry. With enough tasks completed, the monkey with the diamond then escapes to Paris. Man, this game jumps locations worse than the movie does.
Why, that's highway robbery. Where are we gonna get that kind of dough? On a Hollywood movie star's salary.
Well, there was plenty of money lying around back in there.
There was?
From this point onwards, you can switch characters manually, which is how the rest of the game pans out. Mailboxes act as checkpoints, and whacking one will call your partner.
You're helpless without me.
Bugs and Daffy have their own unique moves, and you can switch between the characters using the triangle button.
You want little old me to go?
While Bugs can dig and double jump, Daffy can perform something called a flutter jump, a sort of glide move performed by jumping and rapidly tapping the X button.
Nichols!
I loathe this move with a passion. It's harder than it looks trying to get him to land where you want him to, and most often I find myself falling to my doom.
I wonder if Daffy will remember that he can fly.
As we mentioned earlier, now and again a costume door will appear, allowing Daffy to transform into his alter ego Duck Danger. This costume allows Daffy to be temporarily invincible for certain dangerous activities, such as this game in which we need to pass a bomb onto the other carts by tagging them and avoid getting tagged ourselves.
Watch the road, you maroon!
It's kinda like hot potato and bumper carts combined.
All in a day's work, ma'am.
Once we've obtained the monkey here, the water tower explodes, and we need to find Daffy. And this is where the issues with the platforming become apparent. While Bugs generally controls well, this part of the game requires some painstaking accuracy with the jump.
Not much of a swimmer, are you?
Yeah, looks like Bugs forgot how to swim. Fortunately though, Daffy makes up for Bugs' ineptitude, as he takes to water like...
Well, like a duck to water. Obviously.
Daffy can not only swim, but also dive underwater to collect hidden items, and in this case unplug the drains to clear the flood. I neglected to mention that in each location, you also encounter Foghorn Leghorn, who will sell you a monkey for a less than reasonable price.
I got a fuzzy thing for sale if you got some money for me.
I guess that's what you call monkey business.
Wait a minute, aren't those monkeys actually people?
Yeah, actually. Isn't this basically trafficking?
I mean, in fairness, we've not exactly treated his kind with the greatest respect either.
Hey, I still got my Space Jam skills.
Speaking of traffic, collecting all 7 boxes of birdseed in a level unlocks the Fast and Furious bonus challenge with Wile E. Coyote, in which the objective is to avoid the oncoming vehicles and catch the Roadrunner while the speed gradually increases. If you hit 3 cars, you're out. You can unlock these bonus levels in each location of the game, and they get progressively harder. This is actually a lot of fun, and is so much better than the Wile E. Coyote level in Acme Arsenal. Your target speed increases with each level, and you can also practice by playing the traffic attack minigame in the main menu to try and beat your own score. Playing both this game and the Roadrunner parts of Sheep, Dog and Wolf really make me question why they never made a Roadrunner PlayStation game. If you manage to beat the target speed and thus catch the Roadrunner, your prize is then swapped for a monkey, much to Wiley's disappointment.
You might say they made a monkey out of him, too.
Anyway, let's take a look at the next location, Paris and the Louvre.
They sure do got a lot of nice pictures here.
This is possibly my favourite location in the game, merely because of the aesthetic.
Come back here, you!
The whole setting is just vibrant, and the music makes it genuinely feel like you're really there. That said, I kind of feel like they could have been a little more adventurous with the enemies here.
Look, celebrities!
The obsessed fans are exactly the same as in the previous location. Maybe I'm just being picky, but they could have at least given them a French accent or something.
It's them. It's them!
The Louvre itself is fun to explore, with all of the paintings paying homage to the classic shorts, as you might expect.
Have a drink. Awfully decent of you.
However, I did find it rather odd that there are very few allusions to the Pepe Le Pew cartoon Louvre Come Back to Me.
You know, considering this is a cartoon that's literally set in the Louvre.
This painting was the only reference I could find. But the details that are present are commendable as always.
Hey, I love to sing it too.
Black Jacques Chalac makes a cameo in the level's opening mission, as he's found some invisible ink and managed to steal a bunch of paintings.
Ow! You're gonna get it!
As Bugs, you need to rent the spy costume to temporarily reveal the culprit and whack him to retrieve all of the stolen goods.
Sacré Marianne!
The spy costume can also be used to reveal invisible platforms to find hidden items.
Oh, and it fits so well.
Once inside the Louvre, we need to defeat Elmer Fudd.
Oh boy, delicious duck dinner.
And we can do this by luring him into shooting all the duck season, rabbit season signs until they all display Fudd season.
Don't you ever give up, cue ball.
At which moment we can take his gun and shoot him. It's very basic and nothing too taxing, but it's not horrendous either. After this, Daffy needs to don his Duck Danger costume and defeat that bull from Bully for Bugs again. You know what, I appreciate the cartoon references here, but seriously, they always seem to reference the same ones.
Of course you realize this means war.
Really, why does this bull crop up in so many games? He's becoming as prolific as Gossamer. In fact, in one of the games, he was seen with Gossamer.
I do, however, think it's commendable that all the boss fights with this bull in the Looney Tunes games are different. Here you actually have to ride the bull and steer him into the statues.
I knew there was a reason I never went country and western.
So it's not as though these encounters are all identical. Despite being my favourite level, I do feel as though there are some missed opportunities here. What pains me the most is that the presence of Elmer as an antagonist here is derived from my favourite scene of the movie, in which Elmer pursues Bugs and Daffy through various paintings, with each one showcasing a new art style based on the painting they're in.
Oh my.
Genuinely, I'd recommend this movie for this scene alone. It's a work of art in itself.
By contrast, the game doesn't even attempt to do anything this creative.
Ow! That's smart.
The closest we get is a sequence in which Daffy becomes trapped in a painting and must use a frying pan to swat the bombs back at the encroaching Elmers.
Grand slam, thank you, bam!
It's nothing awful, but it feels a little uninspired.
Put it this way, this part of the game feels less like a work of art and more like paint by numbers.
I love what you did there.
Oh, stop it.
We then head over to the Wooden Nickel, Yosemite Sam's casino in Las Vegas.
Boy, I'd hate to get their electric bill.
Once again, we find Granny looking for her pets, and... oh honey, they're right behind you. Are you even trying to look?
If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait, what is it?
Well, the whole point of visiting this location in the movie was to get the playing card, which then led them to Paris. In the game, we go to these different locations, but in different order, and we've already been to Paris, so why are we here?
That's a good point, actually. Although I suppose the plot has taken something of a back seat, considering all the plot entails is collecting monkeys. So, who gives a monkeys, am I right?
This location looks impressive visually, but some of the tasks are once again a little on the mundane side. Bugs' costume here is a quick draw costume, which derives inspiration from his Wild West shorts with Sam.
What's up, Doc?
And he can use it to draw a gun. And no, I don't mean in that way.
Ugh, did you really make that joke?
Hey, I'm not above making the odd cheap shot.
Please, just stop.
However, instead of using actual guns here, Bugs uses finger guns, similar to the finger farts in Taz Wanted. I'm not sure why this is exactly, perhaps I just didn't want kids to use guns.
It's a pain in the butt being politically correct.
Although this doesn't really make sense considering we literally shot someone in the last level.
Nasty Canasta stands guard in a few places here, and you basically have to shoot him before he shoots you. Once inside the casino, we need to get Daffy down from the roller coaster. Whacking the slot machine sometimes rewards you with money.
Every little bit helps.
You might say we've literally hit the jackpot. However, sometimes you receive a booby prize, such as an anvil dropped on you in typical Looney Tunes style.
I gotta get a real partner.
A little further along, we have to ride the roller coaster in pursuit of Sam, leaning left and right to pop the Sam balloons and avoid the bombs. This is very reminiscent of Mine or Mine from Bugs Bunny Lost in Time, and the mine truck level in Taz Wanted. Really, how many times can they repeat the same basic level? Anyway, this isn't particularly fun, as it's not always easy to see what's up ahead. This took me a few attempts, as I had to basically memorize where certain balloons or bombs were. I can't say it was especially difficult, just awkward. Speaking of awkward, this location contains a lot of platforming.
Just my luck to get stuck with a novice.
It's not the worst, but it's really annoying when you fall and have to clamber back up to where you were all the time. And bouncing on the balloons to reach the higher platforms is especially annoying when the scenery blocks the view of the camera.
Bouncing sure beats walking.
Do you like anything about this level?
Let's just say that despite all of the balloons, this left me feeling a little deflated.
Oh boy. A little later on, Duck Danger has to wrestle with the Crusher.
Ooh, you think you're tough, do you?
While Crusher is nice to see and the references to the shorts are always appreciated, the gameplay feels uninspired as you simply have to tap the circle button. Not that it's bad as such, I just think they could have made this task a little more interesting, even if they just threw in some more buttons to tap. I'd say the gameplay is a crushing disappointment.
Ugh, you have no right to complain about my puns, you hypocrite.
Sorry, it's catching.
The final task of this level requires us to use the balloons to float around and burst the balloons of the enemies to make them fall.
Hey, hands off, Pecos!
I actually found this kind of boring and irritating at the same time, and such an anticlimax for such a visually striking level. As disappointing as it was, I kinda feel as though the wrestle with Crusher should have been a final mission here. At least it actually felt like a level boss. Floating around popping balloons feels more like a forgettable minigame.
Hey, who did that?
It reminds me of the Winnie the Pooh minigame in Kingdom Hearts 2, only worse.
I just hope the next location is an improvement.
Well, I hate to burst your balloon, but if you don't like platforming, you're really not going to like this next level.
Oh no.
Area 52, driver, pronto!
Sure thing, foolish earth creatures. I mean, Mac.
Bugs and Daffy are then abducted by Marvin the Martian and taken to Area 52, which is kind of fortunate as that's where we were going anyway. Thanks for the ride, I guess. Here, Foghorn Leghorn has been body swapped with a monkey, and we need to find his body, which involves a great deal of platforming.
Hey, this place is dangerous!
It's also kind of funny that once you restore Foghorn, he then sells you a monkey.
Well, if you're sure it don't got no diseases and nothing, we'll take it.
You'd have thought he'd think twice about doing that now, being as he was literally a monkey just a few seconds ago.
Ooh, what a hypocrite.
Shortly after this, we need to use Duck Danger to race some Martians. As I said earlier, I appreciate the references to the classic shorts, but at this point I'm getting kinda tired of seeing the same references over and over. Really, how often are we gonna have to see this?
Besides, these guys have no chance. I'm the space race champ.
Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo.
There's a side-scrolling mission here as we need to chase the monkey while avoiding all the hazards. Once this is over with, the monkey with the diamond teleports to the jungle ruins in Africa, the final location of the game, which we'll talk about later. Bugs can rent the space costume, which was first seen in 1963 cartoon Mad as a Mars Hare. With this costume you can shoot things.
Theoid's looking safer all the time.
The objective here is to destroy the teleporters to stop the Martians respawning.
And I thought that us rabbits bred quickly.
Once this is over, we need to pursue Marvin and K9, and this eventually culminates in a surprisingly lackluster boss fight, as we need to take out Marvin in his ship, at the same time as defending Daffy from the encroaching Martians.
I must destroy you to liberate your planet.
It's not too challenging, but pretty easy to screw up.
Let me guess, practice run?
If you put just 1 foot wrong, Daffy is a dead duck. As was the case with the Elmer boss, I actually find this a major missed opportunity. The scene in which Bugs and Daffy face Marvin the Martian is a very well done scene. Sure, it's basically a Star Wars parody, but as well as being amusing, it serves as a pretty intense finale. There's so much scope for a space battle, but this is just weak.
We then move on to the final location, the jungle ruins. After chasing down a monkey, we need to scale the jungle walls to get into the temple. Once again, there's a hell of a lot of platforming in these stages, and falling from a great height can get very frustrating.
Here our enemies are tribal natives, which is actually kind of questionable.
Say, this is kind of fun.
I'm pretty sure they have every right to protect their own territory, so our brutal slaughtering of them with a big mallet is somewhat unjust, wouldn't you say?
And the rabbit wins a Cupid doll.
As we make our way inside, we find they've decided to cook all of our friends and they need to be rescued before time runs out.
I mean, we could rescue them, but I am pretty hungry. Tough call.
Why, you big bully.
This is followed by a sequence in which we have to chase Daffy down some rapids.
Wrong way, wrong way!
It's your standard chase the thing down the river level we've seen before. I can't help but feel this level is a little rushed. Although the location once again looks nice, I find it the least impressive in terms of gameplay. What's more, this is the only location in the game in which you don't have to find and save Tweety from Sylvester, and it's also the only location that doesn't boast a unique costume for Bugs.
Why, I've never been so insulted in all my life.
However, there is another Duck Danger sequence towards the end, in which we need to wrangle with the Tasmanian Devil, and take out the fleeing natives to keep our energy topped up.
Go on, Dad, you can take him. Nah, he's not so tough. Let me at him.
I don't really get the logic here, but anyway, once we make it to the exit, the chairman of the Acme Corporation somehow gets the diamond before you, and manages to use a giant ray to turn everyone into monkeys, just as planned.
Wait, what? How did he get here before us?
By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Not only does the chairman have the diamond, he's also holding Mr. Warner and Granny hostage. And what happens next comes right the hell out of left field. With Granny in captivity, Sylvester sees this as a chance to finally catch Tweety, but this inadvertently lures Tweety into the ray and transforms him into... this.
You're a very big monkey.
I thought I tore a Tweety Taurus.
You did. You did to your Tweety Taurus.
Well, I certainly never tore this coming.
This final boss sees you take control of Tweetysaurus, as you use the analog sticks to beat the stone monkey.
I'm gonna bash you good.
Holding the sticks back makes Tweety defend himself from attack, while pushing them forwards makes him kick the monkey.
Hit him with pow! Hit him with pow!
Once this is over, the diamond is destroyed and everyone is transformed to their former selves, including the diamond thieving monkey, who as it turns out is actually Michigan J. Frog. In an amusing twist for showcasing his bravery, Tweety is granted a new movie deal, much to Daffy's dismay.
Tweety!
If there's one thing I appreciate about this game, it's the humour. And not only that, all the loose ends are tied up. Sure, Tweety and Sylvester merely serve as seemingly insignificant background extras for much of the game, but they wind up being catalysts for the big finale. It's like a really subtle Chekhov's gun.
For he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, and many more.
And the expensive taxi fare gag also returns at the game's conclusion, as Bugs offers Daffy a lift home.
You want how much?
And I guess that's all, folks. And you know what? This is another Looney Tunes game that doesn't feature Gossamer. I almost can't believe I'm saying that.
Michael.
Can you believe it? We found another Looney Tunes game that doesn't feature that hideous creature.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah? What is it?
Well... there's something you might want to see.
Oh no.
If you head to the cheat codes menu and type the word gobble, you make special costume doors appear in the game that Bugs can use to transform into, you guessed it, Gossamer.
Snap, snap, zipper, snap.
Meaning he's pretty much a hidden playable character. Doesn't seem to do much, and I don't know why he's there, but he's there.
Why? What is your obsession with this big red monster?
Speaking of the cheat codes, if you enter the code OUTTAKE, you unlock a secret deleted boss level that was presumably supposed to take place at the beginning of the game.
Take that, super foe!
My theory is that this sequence was perhaps deleted following the removal of the scene from the movie.
Yes, I will fight you another day, Duck.
That crushed your sinister plot.
There are also a bunch of other interesting cheat codes too, including one for a shrink ray weapon.
Go ahead, make my day.
And another to replace your melee weapons with fish, for some reason.
First I left Topeka.
While we're on the subject of the game's bonus features, there's an entire Looney Tunes cartoon available to view from the main menu, as well as a whole episode of Duck Dodgers.
Makes the engine go whoosh.
This is a cool bonus, although I personally think these could have been presented as rewards for completing certain tasks, like completing the game or finding all the monkeys, or perhaps items you could purchase using the money you've collected.
I'm rich!
To have them available from the outset is rather strange to me.
That was sort of anticlimactic, don't you think?
I'm actually a little conflicted with this game. I think for the most part it's vibrant and amusing.
Daisy, Daisy.
Hey, a nickel!
And while the gameplay isn't the best, it's certainly not the worst I've encountered, and not even the worst in a Looney Tunes game.
I'm looking at you, Acme Arsenal.
Impossible! Unthinkable!
At least I think I am. It's so frigging dark I can barely tell.
The game succeeds in emanating the humor and style of the movie, although the plot is barely there. It's a very linear experience, and you really don't have to be familiar with the movie at all.
Nothing to see here. Go about your business.
That said, there are some parts that are derived from movie scenes.
Yow!
And there are some glaring missed opportunities here. The Elmer Fudd and Marvin the Martian bosses could easily have been more inspired.
My alien hordes will devastate your planet.
But there's still more good than bad. This game definitely looks appealing. It's colourful, the animations are smooth, and the dialogue is witty and regularly breaks the fourth wall.
Don't be so grabby with the controller, rabbit.
In terms of gameplay, however, I'm sorry to say it's a fairly generic experience. It's not bad by any means, but it lacks the cartoonish uniqueness likes of, say, Sheep, Dog and Wolf. Overall though, its positive traits make it a mostly satisfying experience. It's not the best Looney Tunes game, but hey, it's far from the worst too.
Not bad.
And that's all, folks. A massive thank you to my guest, Richie Jim.
Thanks, everybody.
And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
I love it you sing.
And now, an important announcement.
We reached 4,000 subs, guys! You thought I'd forgotten about this, didn't you? This video's actually been in production for some time. In fact, if you go back to 2021 and watch my Tarzan Freeride video, towards the end of that review I actually explained that there was a missing video because I missed a month out, and this is the reason why. We planned this some time ago, but because of other commitments, we weren't actually able to complete this project. So this review has actually been shelved for quite a while. For a milestone video, I usually do a video on a game that's highly requested. In this case, I just decided to do something a little bit different. Hope you enjoyed, and hello to all my new followers. And do you know what? I've been doing a lot of Simpsons videos recently, Simpsons shorts, based on the Simpsons Hit and Run. I was not expecting the response that I have been getting. It's been really good, actually. So obviously, if you're expecting any more Simpsons content, at the moment, there's nothing planned, but I am planning to do in future a review of the Simpsons game. I don't know exactly when that will be, but I've been planning to do that for some time. So yeah, once again, a big thank you for 4,000 subs, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you, everyone.
That's interesting.